Before I started in this job about 16 years ago, flying around testing cars, I couldn't understand the concept of business class. I couldn't grasp how somebody would be willing to spend 2.5 times more for their plane ticket just to be comfortable, 4, 8, 12 hours, when they could sacrifice a bit and spend the extra money on their vacation. Until I started traveling myself. Traffic, which came as a complete shock, by the way, to absolutely nobody. But I even went out in the street just to verify. Now, when you look at road travel, if your time is worth more than traffic, thankfully the business class solutions are no longer just up in the air. Hi there, welcome to Drive. I'm James Deakin. Now recently, Waze, which is the world's #1 traffic and navigation app, voted Metro Manila as the worst place in the world for traffic, which came as an absolute shock to absolutely nobody. Personally, I went around and even asked people on the street and found out that we're spending anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day in traffic, which explains the birth of this segment over here. It's like the gargantuan luxury vans or high-rises in some ways. The idea is the more time we spend in our cars, the more we're looking at them as sort of mobile homes or second homes on wheels. And on today's episode of Drive, we're going to take a look at not just one of the biggest versions, but by far the most cost-effective solution to just that. Meet the Foton Toano. It's a couple inches shy of paying realty tax, but take a look inside. There's one way to fight traffic. It's like this. It doesn't stand a chance. So we're going to take it out through the metro, up through the hills, maybe through a nice destination to just see what it's all about. Let's go for a ride. It's going to be fun. Now, if you're also wondering about the design of this van and you're thinking it's like a complete ripoff of the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, well, you'd be forgiven for thinking that because it looks exactly like it. But there is a good reason for that. You see, the very same people that designed the Mercedes Sprinter designed this. The synergy works really well and has come up with a very cost-effective way into this solution of this second home on wheels, as I call it. Well, we're headed out of town finally, and I've got the best seat in the house. So this is where I want to spend most of my time, if not all of it. But you know what's more important when you're headed out of town is, well, we got to fill up with fuel, right? It's just one of the things you want to get out of the way so that you don't have to worry about it later. I like to pick the nice quiet gas stations because we don't have to wait in line. Full tank turbo diesel, please. Now, another cool thing about this road test is we're not just going to drive it out of town and do the basic stuff. We're going to put it through some extreme measures. Not exactly sure what the producers have lined up, but I'm told we're going to be doing some extreme uphill challenges. And well, Tagaytay is full of uphills. We're going to need all the power we can get, so that's why we're going for the premium stuff when it comes to diesel, because we really want to maximize all the performance of this engine. We don't want it to fail, right? Which is why we're giving it its best chance to succeed. Now, there are a couple of choices when you pull up here to Petron. You can get the Diesel Max or the Turbo Diesel. We're choosing the latter because it's the best match for this particular engine. One of the things I like about the Foton Toano, or Fotons in general, is they partnered up with a very tried and proven diesel manufacturer. Cummins has been making the 2.8 diesel engine for quite a long time now, and they supply quite a lot of people. It's their core competence. They build about 520,000 of these engines per year, so you can kind of say they know what they're doing. Well, what's important is you get a fuel that actually gets the best out of that engine. And the Turbo Diesel, because it features a Petron Tri-Action Advantage, it's going to give you better engine protection, better mileage, and better power. why you buy a van like this is to be able to be spoiled and travel in the lap of luxury. Now I have to admit, these seats are really, really nice. They're not just armrests, they're a real bucket seat. It's like they were taken out of, let's say, a private aircraft. That's the feeling that you get in there. And they recline pretty much almost all the way back. I mean, you can sleep in this thing, so I'm just gonna see how far back I can go. Yep, this is pretty, all right, it's starting to get a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. One really cool thing is we have a universal adapter over here, not just here, but in the other rows as well. So you can plug in your laptop, you can plug in just about anything here. It's also got 2 USBs, and that is the 5-volt variety. So it's pretty fast charging. Another thing this comes standard with is a massive TV, and it's got this sort of electric retraction that brings it up and down. That's really cool. It's got a TV stick in here and antenna so you can pick up local channels as well. Now at first I wasn't sure about the flooring because it isn't carpeted, but it's actually grown on me over the last few days. It does have a nice look. I have to say, I kind of like it. There are a few things that it does need to have to be perfect. You should have a table somewhere here in between. There are also no cup holders around here, which is a little strange. You'd still have to put something aftermarket there to sort of hold your phone or hold your cups or drinks or whatever. We've also got aircon vents pretty much lining all through the back here on both sides, so there's plenty for everybody. Once again, the only sort of drawback there is I have no way to adjust the temperature or the fan. I still have to yell out and tell whoever's driving to change the temperature or the fan level for me. Now that may seem very, very trivial, but when you're behind here, it's almost like you have to yell to get them to turn on the aircon. Now this is the 11-seater. They come in 2 configurations. You also have the 15-seater, which is like the school bus style. And that is the one that's at 1.688 million. This is above 2 million. It's just less than a Super Grandia and about significantly less than the LXV, which is the high roof, high ace. The ride itself in the back here, it's good for what it is. I mean, these are still commercial vehicles. If you're going on a spirited ride, you're going to get feel a little bit of the bumps, but this is the ultimate traffic buster. I also love the fact that you can get up and stand up and walk through this whole thing. Downside to that, well, you are going to have problems in underground or basement car parks. This is always going to be an issue. So this is why I say this is the best seat in the house. It's because really there are very little compromises over here. Up front, you only get it in the manual transmission, and you have a lot of things you have to sort of worry about. But we'll talk about that when I'm behind the wheel. All right, now let's get the elephant out of the room. Parking. We know it's not going to be easy to park something as huge as this, but the question is, how difficult will it be? The first one's kind of easy. It's very straightforward. All I have to do is pull in between 2 cars in a regular parking slot and follow the cones. Should be pretty simple, and we'll crank it up a notch after this. So far, pretty straightforward. If I hit anything there, I shouldn't be driving on the road. That was pretty easy. Can't say that was any more difficult than any other standard van. Now it gets a little bit trickier. First part's exactly the same. I'm not expecting any sort of problems there. But when I back out, I have to sort of reverse around this sort of snaky S type of situation. And that's where it might get a little bit tricky. But let's give it a shot. Should be fairly straightforward going in here. Exactly like the first time. No problem whatsoever. All right, now in the backing up part, I've got a pretty good backup camera here. What I don't sort of see is how big the ears of this car are. When I say ears, I'm talking about the side mirror. All right, so now the object is to not hit the cones. I might actually be able to do this. I think I might be able to do this. Yep. Oh, well, that was easy. There we go. Bring it on, level 3. All right, this is the third and final stage, and it's pretty ridiculous. I'm warning you now. They're gonna make me, they're asking me, I don't know if they'll make me, but they're asking me to go up this very steep hill. It's a bit of a snaky sort of S-bend, and then I'm gonna have to maneuver around, and the concrete breaks into dirt, and so I'm gonna lose a bit of traction. The whole point of this is to show, well, maneuverability and torque, because I'm gonna need all the torque I can get to be able to do this properly. So handbrake up first, because it's really steep. Get some revs in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. I can't break my momentum. That's the most important thing. This is not a Wrangler. This is a freaking bus. We're not gonna, this is crazy. Oh man, I'm gonna need some vuelo here. White flag! Well, I don't know what they're trying to prove. I honestly don't. This is ridiculous. This is a perfect test, by the way, for a Wrangler, a Trailblazer, a pickup, a 4x4, or any of the type of thing. But for a van, come on! This is just not what it was designed for, but it does tell us a few things. It does have enough torque to make it up this very steep sort of area in reverse, so that's not really a problem. If anything, maybe there's a little bit too much torque, especially when you get here, because you can't put that sort of power to the ground. You can't get the traction. It hasn't got a limited slip dip. It's not 4x4. So what I'll do, just to even things out, is I'll spin it around and I'll try doing it at least going forward. At least we can do half of it and make some people happy, like the producers who never got the memo that it ain't an off-road vehicle. Okay, let's try this a somewhat normal way. The way real people would do this. I mean, like regular people, not producers. Not pointing fingers or anything, I'm just saying. See, going up, I do it with one hand. I'm in second gear. It's absolutely simply easy. It's just child's play. Even when I get to the dirt here, considering how much sort of potholes I put there, still in second gear, by the way. And just like that. You see, when you do things properly, like the way God designed it to be done, it's not a problem. Now, another thing you're going to have to consider, whether you're driving the van or you're riding in the back, is eventually you're going to have to make a U-turn. Some of them in not the most favorable conditions. So what we're doing right now is we're going to do a series of them. The first one is very simple. It's as standard as possible, assuming there's no traffic, so I can go wide. I can sort of go over here and make a perfectly good U-turn. Did get pretty close to the island, but I made it no problem whatsoever. Well, that was pretty straightforward, but we all know there's nothing straightforward about driving in the Philippines. So what we're going to do is try and create possibly a more realistic situation with the kamote drivers, making it as Manila-ish as possible for us. Here's a perfect kamote driver over here. He's going to try and get in my lane. Watch where you're going! Here's another one. Look at this guy. Where'd you get your license, buddy? Here we go. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? If we do, it's gonna be really close. Inches. I don't know. But the point is we made it. And that's important because you don't want to be blocking a road if you can't make a U-turn and all that kind of jazz. Yes, there's going to be some compromises in the handling of the car, but the trade-off is the space. The question here, is it worth it? So far, I'm saying absolutely, so long as someone else is driving. Now, one of the concerns people have about this van is power, myself included, because although the 2.8 Cummins engine, the diesel engine, is tried and proven, has done duty in the Foton Thunder and has had no problems, this is a much, much bigger vehicle. It's done very well up until here in Tagaytay. We haven't had any problems whatsoever. But what I'm concerned about, or what I really wanted to do, was feel what it's like under load going up steep hills. Sad to say, we don't have either the resources or the budget to sort of have a cast or something like that to test. So we're just going to have to leave it with my impressions and my impressions only. Unless by some sheer miracle we happen to bump into like a bunch of guys stranded here in the middle of nowhere that need a lift going up a hill or something crazy like that. What's up here? You guys okay?
Hey man.
Everything all right with you guys?
Oh, really, bro? My band, we got a flat tire, bro, and we gotta go up the hill.
You're kidding.
We have a cover shoot or something.
Oh man, look.
Help us out.
Jump in. I got all the space in the world. Jump in, man. I just happen to need like a bunch of people to test it out going uphill. And there they were on the side of the road. And they look strikingly familiar to the last 3 guys that I saved in the last 3 episodes. What are the odds of that? Now that we have this mysterious crowd that just appeared out of nowhere, we're gonna see how it works when we go up these very, very steep hills. We're in one of the steepest parts of Tagaytay, by the way. So going up here, you need a lot of power. And right now, I'm stuck in 2nd gear. I'm not even floored, and it's making its way up quite beautifully. It's quite nice. I don't think it's gonna have a problem at all.
James.
What's up, man?
Oh my God.
What?
I can't believe it. We forgot to load the equipment, man. Oh my God.
Are you serious right now? You literally have one job. Oh, all right, fine. So, a band that forgot their equipment. Okay, here we go. All right, there's a first for everything. But you know what? It might just be the opportunity we're looking for to actually get this van to work harder, because that was a cinch. We went up the hill, 2nd gear, wasn't even floored. Maybe if their equipment is heavy enough, it might give this van the test that we really need to put it through. All right, boys, we ready? Yeah! Well, now we can finally say that we are finally fully full. We're all completely full. We got people, we got baggage, we got what? I'm talking here.
Hey, James.
What?
What is that thing there? Like
This?
top, yeah.
Oh, that's a TV.
That's a
Don't mind those guys, I don't know what they're on, but the good news is, up this hill, we're still in 2nd gear, not a problem at all. Rock and roll to the world! Yeah! Woo! High five, boys, high five! Good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Drive. We pretty much covered just about everything that we could and a little bit more. You can't say we didn't put this thing through its paces. And it delivered in pretty much every single area, and in some, it actually did over and beyond what it was supposed to do. Now, some of the areas that really impressed me, I love the fact that for the price, you get this massive size. It's very, very hard to kind of get all this space for this price. It's also got a really good engine. It's got enough power to get yourself up a hill or go to Baguio or do any of that stuff, even if it's fully loaded. But I gotta tell you this, it hasn't got an abundance of power. So you kind of sort of need to know what you're doing. So you have to sort of do the right mix with the gas and the clutch. But if you know what you're doing, you won't have any problem. I was doing it in second gear. So I don't see a situation where this thing's really going to choke and sort of run out of breath in any sort of situation here in the Philippines. We would normally have to spend $2.5 million and above just to be able to get into this thing. This thing starts at 1.6 million or 1.688, and from there it can be a bit of a blank canvas. You could do what you like with that extra surplus cash to make it exactly how you like it. I think it's a great sort of addition to the segment, and I think it's something that your whole family can enjoy, and also it's first class travel. When they're not with you, you can use it as your mobile office. I gotta wrap it up. These boys have a shoot to finish. They're shooting a record cover, album cover, whatever they're doing. I'm gonna join them and have a little bit of fun. So till next time, my name's James Deakin. On behalf of the entire Drive team, drive safely everybody and rock and roll to the world, yeah! Whoa!